Mustard and Nutmeg are dangling from the ceiling, their fingers hooked on a picture rail.
Argy, it isn't funny. How do you expect us to put up these balloons when you've taken the stepladders away? And anyway, it's dangerous. Didn't you learn anything when you were at school?
Mustard is a little hot under the collar.
Yeah, of course I did. I learnt about the 4 R's. What do you mean by the 4 R's? What are they? Reading, writing, arithmetic and ragamuffin.
Archie grins.
Yes, I dare say that you came top of the class as a ragamuffin. Now, can we have the stepladders back before we fall and injure ourselves?
Archie obliges.
Sorry, boys. I was only having a bit of festive fun.
Christmas Eve morning is always frantic in the workshop. The Dinkybets are busy hanging the decorations and dressing the Christmas tree. Santa is wrestling with his overcoat.
Oh, let me help you put it on, Santa.
Delightful offers.
It's very kind of you. And now I must be on my way, as I have to visit the other workshops. But I'll see you all later. Goodbye, my Bettyskins.
Bye-bye. The Dinkybets never know what he's going to call them next.
Bargy, will you help me inflate these balloons? The Spice Boys are pushing them up too quickly for me to keep up with them.
Grub is breathless.
Are you running out of wind, Grub? It's probably because of all those mince pies you've eaten. Pass me one over and I'll blow it up. A balloon, that is, not a mince pie.
Bargy pulls and stretches it and then draws breath. He places the balloon between his lips and blows with all his vigour until his cheeks bloat like bullfrogs. His eyes concealed behind them and his face turns crimson. He blows and blows and blows until the balloon is 10 times the size of his head, and finally it bursts with a terrific bang. Bargy is stunned and Cantankerous tumbles out of the Christmas tree. Grub falls off his stool and P has to scamper to the loo. Oh dear loses his balance and slips into a bag of tinsel. The Spice Boys' stepladder trembles, Delightful screams, and Zed wakes up.
What's all the commotion?
Zed stretches and yawns.
Do you mean to say you have slept through this racket?
Cantankerous is removing a plastic branch from his trousers.
What happened anyway?
Zed is now fully awake.
Bargy burst the balloon and caused havoc. Just take a look around you and look at all the mess.
Cantankerous begins to smile.
I suppose it's quite funny, really. And it is Christmas after all.
It sounds like I've missed all the fun.
Zed can't stop himself from laughing at Bargy's facial expression, one of shock and bewilderment.
Have you seen a ghost, Bargy? You look as white as a sheet. Perhaps that will teach you a lesson not to play your mischievous pranks anymore.
The Dinkybets giggle. It isn't very often that one of the twins tricks backfire.
I was only blowing at a balloon. I didn't realise how big it was because I had my eyes closed.
Delightful smiles at Bargy.
Delightful? You seem much happier this morning. How did you get on last night?
Argy inquires.
What do you mean?
Cantankerous interrupts.
Well, as you know, Delightful was very upset last night, so me and Bargy left one of the workshop windows open for her so she could put Major Jump and Crystal into the same sack.
I see. And did you do that, Delightful?
Yes, I did, but Wendy Wiz and Private Property helped me.
Who are they?
Cantankerous is puzzled. Wendy Wiz is a kind lady that cleans the workshop after everyone has gone home.
What about Private Property?
Argy is curious. He's a member of Major's regiment, she replies.
I'm sure he is, but how can a toy soldier help you?
Cantankerous quizzes her again. Well, she hesitates. This may come as a shock to all of you, as indeed it did to me, but when I discovered that Major Jump and Crystal and all the other soldiers and fairies are... She paused.
What?
What you want to
Understand?
The Dinkybets are sitting on the edge of their seats.
They are alive. Utter nonsense. How can they be alive? They're made from biscuit tins, yoghurt pots, and kitchen roll tubes.
I know it's hard to believe, but they really are alive, and I think it's because the Major and Crystal are wearing clothes that were made by Queen Sophie's magical dress. This is so exciting. All of these sacks are full of soldiers and fairies that walk and talk. Oh dear is overjoyed. And they dance, Delightful replies. In that case, it's a good job that I sorted out the soldier that had 3 arms and 1 leg. Oh dear smiles. Yes, it is. He would have been a very peculiar dancer. Delightful beams.
So how did Wendy Wiz and Private Property help you? Asks Grub.
The private suggested that we make replacements for Crystal and the Major, she answers.
But we don't have enough materials, says Cantankerous.
Wendy is going to bring them with her tonight.
That's good. We must thank them all for their help. Someone please help us to escape from here. The stink bomb has been dropped and the smell is awful.
A voice calls out from one of the sacks.
They really are alive. Who is it?
Cantankerous demands.
It's Major Jump,
he gasps. Cantankerous unties the sack very gingerly and takes 3 paces back. The Major's head pops out.
Fresh air at last. Crystal, let me help you out of here.
Thank you, Major. It is rather a ghastly odour.
Unsuited to a lady of your standing, he nods. Come along, soldiers, out of the sack and take some deep breaths, he orders.
The Dinkybets are amazed to see them walking and talking.
Who dropped it then?
The Major asks in his military tone.
Was it you, RG?
Cantankerous inquires.
No,
he replies.
What about you, Bargy?
No, it wasn't me. I only burst a balloon,
RG insists.
Was it filled with smelly gas?
The Major asks.
No, I don't think so. Then where is this dreadful stink coming from?
The Major is puzzled.
I think it's me,
says Private Road as his face reddens with embarrassment.
And what makes you think it's you?
The Major's nose twitches.
It all happened a long time ago when me feet were yoghurt pots. Someone put them at the back of the refrigerator and they were placed out of sight and forgotten about. They were discovered nearly 2 years after their sell-by date, and I'm afraid the smell has stayed with me ever since.
The soldiers burst out laughing. Even Major Jump can't help himself. The Dinkybets chuckle. Argy and Bargy think it's highly entertaining.
Doesn't Zed put the feet on the soldiers?
Empty inquires.
Surely you must have had a whiff of them,
he continues. He was probably half asleep, Full interrupts. That's more likely the reason why he sleeps so much. Sticking smelly feet on toy soldiers all day long. Empty giggles.
Well, we can't allow pongy soldiers to be given as presents, so we'll have to wash their feet, all of them.
Cantankerous insists.
Yuck, what an unsavoury task.
Grub screws up his face in disgust.
I insist we wear rubber gloves.
Hungry moans.
Must we suffer the indignity of the Dinkybets scrubbing our feet?
The Major is disgruntled, to say the least.
I'm sorry to say that you must. Remember that you still have to endure a few more hours in the sack,
Cantankerous firmly declares.
Oh, well, if we must.
The Major sighs.
Argy and Bargy, please go to Wendy Wiz's room and bring 2 zinc buckets full of hot water. We will also need bleach, lemon fresh, washing up liquid and several clean towels.
Cantankerous is in his bellowing mood.
Please hurry, as we will still have to make today's batch of soldiers and fairies as well.
The twins return with buckets, towels and soldier dips.
Argy, place your bucket next to the bench, and Bargy, position yours 2 paces away. Then lay 2 of the towels in a straight line in between them. Put a 3rd towel at the other side of Bargy's bucket, making a continuous line.
Cantankerous instructs them.
What happens next?
Argy asks after aligning the last towel.
Pour a small quantity of bleach into your bucket of hot water, and Bargy, a large measure of lemon fresh into yours. Now then, Major, if you can assemble your regiment in an orderly queue near to Argy's dip, then we can begin.
The soldiers are in single file awaiting their order.
Soldiers,
barks the Major.
Quick march!
The military procession step out nervously towards Argy's bucket.
Left, right, left, right, left, right. Soldiers, halt! Private road. As it is you that has brought this upon us, then you may have the privilege of the first dunking. Archie, check the temperature of the water, please, as we don't want the additional problem of melting feet. Do we, Private? We wouldn't be a very effective regiment standing on the spot, would we, Private? We will also need to make sure that the bleach solution isn't too strong because we don't want our tropical fruits to fade away. Do we, Private?
No, sir, except that my feet are not tropical fruits. They are part of a special offer 4-pack of apple and blackberry.
He replies very quietly.
Well, there's nothing special about them, Private. Are you ready, Archie?
The Major is irritated. Yeah, I'm ready when you are. Archie picks up the private by his arms and lowers him into the bucket. Dip your toe in. It isn't too hot for you, is it? Archie can't help but laugh at his out-of-date apple and blackberries.
It feels just about right. It isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
He marches across the towels to sample Bargie's lemon dip treatment.
This is right good. And very soothing too,
the private remarks. After splashing about a bit in the fresh fizzy bubbles, he jumps out of the bucket and dries his special offers.
Breakfast will never be the same again.
Bargie looks over to his twin brother. What do you mean? Archie looks puzzled.
I can't face the thought of dipping soldiers into our boiled eggs, especially after doing this today.
Archie smiles.
We don't have to eat boiled egg for breakfast. We can always have apple and blackberry yogurt.
The twins giggle.
Who's next?
Just a moment.
The Major is becoming impatient.
I have an idea. If we continue to wash the regiment using this method, it will take the entire day to complete the task. What I suggest is that we treat this like an assault course. How do you propose to do that?
Cantankerous inquires, also becoming impatient.
It's very simple. The first soldier in line will take a running jump into the first bucket. Then, after marching on the spot, he will execute a somersault, landing on the towels. His fall will be broken by bending his knees and lunging into a forward rail. He will then perform a hop, step, jump across the towels and drop into the second bucket. He will repeat the marching on the spot and somersault onto the final towel. When will the second soldier begin?
Cantankerous is impressed.
After the first soldier has taken his first somersault.
The Major replies.
Attention! Move into position. Ready, steady. Don't forget to roll up your trouser legs. Go!
The Major orders. The regiment looked like well-trained circus acrobats, running, jumping and somersaulting. He is proudly watching his soldiers when Private Property mistimes his running jump. He collides in mid-air with a somersaulting private detective. Arms, legs and feet are tossed all over the workshop. Yawn has a very narrow escape.
I'm seeing stars,
Private Property mumbles.
You're lucky. I can't see anything at all,
replies Private Detective.
My marbles were knocked out of my eye sockets, and it also feels like I've lost an arm and both legs. Sorry, Private. I started my running jump too early. You should have been more careful. I do apologise. Never mind. Accidents happen. How are you feeling? I've lost both arms and my left foot. I do hope we can be mended.
Of course you can.
Cantankerous reassures them. The Dinkybets refit their missing parts, all except for Private Detective's eyes.
Has anyone found them yet?
Grub asks.
Yeah, they're here.
Archie places them carefully into their sockets.
Something's wrong,
exclaims the private. What is it? Archie asks.
You are standing on my right side, but the sound of your voice is in my left ear.
The private responds anxiously.
Sorry, I must have put your right eye in your left socket and vice versa. I'll switch them around for you. Is that any better?
No, it's worse. Now I'm standing on the ceiling.
Oh dear. Now I've put them in upside down.
Archie giggles.
All I have to do is rotate them.
Archie places his index finger on the private's eye and spins them round like spinning tops.
You look like a fruit machine.
Archie laughs.
Archie, what have you done? I feel like I'm on a roller coaster. I'm dizzy and my legs have turned to jelly, so please help me.
Archie carries him across the workbench and seats him next to Delightful. Are you feeling better now? She inquires.
No, I'm not. This is a nightmare. All I can see is the inside of me head.
The private looks rather despondent. Not to worry, she says. Your eyes are back to front. I'll turn them round for you. Now, can you see any better?
Yes, thank you. Finally, I'm able to see normal again.
He breathed a sigh of relief. The Dinkybets finished washing the soldiers and put them back into the sacks, then continue with their work.
I can hear the exhaloo,
says Cantankerous.
Remember that we are all meeting tonight. It's important that we keep the Major and Crystal together, particularly as they are alive.
Hello, my denty bikes.
Santa greets his helpers.
How are the final few soldiers and fairies coming along?
They're almost complete,
says Cantankerous.
Another 5 minutes and we'll be finished.
That's wonderful, Santa replies. And for all your hard work, you were all invited to my special Christmas party.
Oh, thank you, Santa.
Splendid idea. The Dinkybets are very excited.
Meet me at the Purple Oak tomorrow at noon, and you may bring any of your friends along with you.
That's very kind of you, says Delightful.
Now that the work is done, I think that you should all go home and hang up your stockings.
Santa is checking the sacks.
Have a safe journey tonight, Santa.
Have a safe journey, Santa. Thank you, and I'll see you all tomorrow.
He piles up the sacks ready for collection at midnight.